Welcome to the 290 Mo podcast. I appreciate your time. If you could introduce yourself for my viewers and listeners.
Yo, my name is Saucertin, Saucertin sitting online, but I'm just a keep it simple. I'm just a dude from Chicago. I'm just trying to make music, not to be something, but to just make something that everyone could get behind, not to do too much or too little. You feel me? That's all it is.
For sure, for sure. So, I don't know how familiar you are with my work. I know we just met, but I like to get as much as the full story as I can in this little amount of time. You know what I'm saying? And I usually start with where you from, where you grow up. But when the guest got an interesting name, I start there. You know what I'm saying? So if you could, man, just explain the name, you know what I'm saying? Because Sauce, I ain't gonna fly when I first heard it, you know what I'm saying? Your ass look like uh Sauce Walker.
Funny as shit. So that's one of them
Shit.
days you gotta prove for real. You gotta really come with something if
But
you
then
gonna
when
say
you get
that's
to
what you are.
spitting, you know what I'm saying, you start giving me like shady vibes on bro, you know what I'm saying? I grew up like an M fan on bro, so
Oh yeah,
if
so
you
you
could just explain the name, man.
yeah, well it's funny. It all started on 2K, right? My
A lot of shit start though.
you feel me? I was always a younger.
Fuck you talking.
You hey, look. So I was never a hooper or anything. I always did basketball though. I was a last time I like hooped for real on a team was like third grade, and then we went from tennis to dancing to writing poetry to now we here. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And but one day on 2K, it was talking back in like the 2K14, 2K15 era, talking about Old Town versus Rough Riders versus Sunset, that type of vibe
For sure.
back then. And we had took it to we played for Old Town, so we was all about crossing niggas all day, all night. That's all we did. That's if we wouldn't even care about a highlight if we didn't cross a nigga in that highlight. We didn't care about the points. It was that serious to us. And we took it to the Rough Riders court, and I crossed this dude off the court, like he was out of camera view. And you know how far back them cameras was back then.
Bro,
You couldn't
glitches.
see, bro. One of my guys, he had said, "Ooh, Sauce guy," and I was like, I kind of fuck with that. At first, my gamer tag was some shit my dad made back in the day, like J Breezy 98, some shit like that. So I took that and I made it Sauce Guy Breezy for the people who knew me as Breezy, but a lot of people after that started to refer me as Sauce. From then, it came from just a 2K thing to an online moniker. And while I was building my whole ensemble for rap and music, that was I ended up being able to build a lot around the number 33 and that aspect. Because at first it was Saucy Pippin, but it evolved to other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't want to lose track. I don't want to lose my train of thought. What's the 33?
Um, I like the number a lot and a lot of the symbolism it has with in the biblical sense and the spiritual sense, which is probably we ain't got time to go over all that in the video, but I mean
We might get into it a little bit. You know?
we gonna see.
I'll be asking them questions.
We gonna touch back on that later. But a lot of the real importance to me and why I came up with the Saucy Pippin aspect was because even though all the shine was on Jordan and one of the ghosts for sure, not to dispute that or anything, but he really had a amazing solid team around him and a lot of really solid pieces, Pippin being one of them. And me always feeling like even though I was as good as like that aspect and a lot of other forms in life and how you have your number ones and you have your really close number twos that won't get as much shine as that. I wanted to represent that. I wanted to represent a form of groundedness and stability. You know, it's always glitz and glamour. It's always a lot of fake shit. It's a lot of unachievable stuff. I want to represent the people. I want to bring shit to normalcy. You know, like you heard what I talk about in my song. Something that isn't pretend. You feel me? Something to make you think.
That's kind of like a first. You know what I'm saying? If I smell what you stepping in, you know what I'm saying. You basically, you know what I'm saying, chose to be kind of like the sidekick in some type of aspect.
In an aspect, but a lot of sometimes sidekicks eventually evolve and get they shine through the hard work. You feel me? And I'm not worried about shine. Like I'd be cool with and not to kind of. There's nothing wrong with having a good niche, 100,000 fans that believe in you. I love Mick Jenkins. I love Saba. Used to love the whole Save Money clique. Aside from Vic and Chance and all other types of artists that
Say that sounds big chance.
because everyone thinks to save money in Chicago back in 2013 aside from Keith, and they only think about Vic. Well, they really only think about Chance if they even think about Vic at all. But they don't think it was a whole
Yeah,
crew,
for
like
sure.
Steamer,
Yeah.
fucking Seppuku. Man, I used to
I saw.
love those songs.
Yeah, I saw a documentary about Chance and just saw the group picture with all of them. It was it was a lot of their ass on, bro.
Well, I just found out Tokyo's still making music out.
Yeah, man.
But I
Now,
wanted to represent something different. And that also, if you pull it up on me, I'm not faking anything. I'm really just being myself here.
for sure, for sure. All right, man, that's dope, man. So let's start at the beginning, man, of your story, man. Where you from? Where you grow up?
Well, I born and raised Beverly, Chicago, and had a million one arguments with people all over the city. Yes, Beverly is Chicago. It's one of the last neighborhoods on the South Side.
I've never heard nobody say it wasn't Chicago. Anybody who say it's not from, who say it's not from Chicago, they like not from
Now,
Chicago.
And you would think that, but you know as well as I know that we got some dummies in the city. No hate on my city. I love my city, of course.
Right, for sure.
But every city got some dummies. And some dummies will dispute you on some shit that's literally on a map if you look it up on Google. But yeah, I've been through these discussions with motherfuckers.
And if you make a wrong turn in Beverly, you was in danger. Bro, you are in danger.
Right there. Like it's
Nateville, right there. Bro.
It's Beverly, but you could still get robbed at gunpoint on the wrong day.
For sure.
It happened to me before.
Gas station right there on Vincennes. Don't go to, well, if you dang right there, just 95th and what's that?
So known right there. Yeah,
bro.
Any liquor store, gas station in that area, the whole staff.
Me too. Yep, me too. I remember walking. I was a shorty around there, so I was walking around. I was smoking loose squares and shit. I was all through that bitch, bro.
Hell yeah.
So, oh yeah, my bad.
I was just finna get back on track for
Sure.
But yeah, I grew up right over here in Beverly. Well, not right over here because we on the west side right now. But I came up in public schooling. I went right there to Barnard on 103rd-ish in Charles. And you know how integrated that neighborhood is. It's strange. Like, it's real chill and it's real nice. And from an outsider, you think it was damn near a suburb. But there are a lot of inner city roots in there. There are a lot of demons in there. And I grew up with a lot of those demons.
I know kids that used to walk from the other side just to go to Beverly just to hit licks on, bro.
Yeah, let's fuck around, play
guns,
hang out with us at Graver.
Yeah.
Do whatever. So even though I never
the story, Beverly ain't chicken, man.
And I ain't never tried to be nothing I was. You hear the way I talk, the way I act. I'm never gonna try to be necessarily from the hood or anything, because you know I'm from Beverly. But at the same time, I grew up with those dudes, and thankfully a lot of those dudes accepted me for who I was because I never faked that. And a lot of people don't see that there is a integration. You don't gotta fake nothing. As long as you know who you are, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be all right. You can fuck with anybody. And that being said, I try to look at everything and everybody, because I went from that, graduating 8th grade, and then going to Marist, a private Catholic school, mostly white. So I got to see.
Where's that at?
115th of Pulaski.
Okay.
So I got to see what niggas thought I was. Because you keep in mind, a lot of people talk about, when they come from that, talk about what white is and white isn't, when they really never interacted with white people. So then we switch over there. It was a really interesting culture shock, but it wasn't too bad. Not only because I can adapt pretty well. I've always been pretty social, whatever. And dancing really helped, because by then I had been dancing since 5th grade, and I was taking it really seriously. I was dancing all the time, thought I was a shit. And there was only one other dancer in the school, and he was like a senior, so it instantly put me on with a lot of the school.
With the hoes, man.
Nah. I was never that guy. I might have a nice little decent girlfriend, but I was never out here like that. All my friends were like that because I was cool with all the real hoopers, all the motherfuckers with clout in school. So I wasn't popular, but motherfuckers knew who I was though.
For sure.
And damn, where did I go from there? We get out of high school, start smoking around senior year, like mid-senior year. That's when stuff started to change, because that's when I started thinking about entering the music world. But it was never through rap at first.
So you mentioned you start smoking. Like, you mentioned, like, what was that, like a big, like, did stuff change, like, personally in your life? Like, was it like
It started a path on figuring out what drugs were and what they could do.
And how old were you at this time?
17.
Okay.
And I never,
That's pretty old for a Chicago kid to get in the weed.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've always had access. I always knew people with it.
For sure.
I was around kids smoking when I was 12, 13, but I just never.
And that's the thing about Chicago. Like I tell people all the time, like you see like the gun, gangs, drugs, and all that. That's a reality, but you can be who the fuck you want to be, bro.
I'm like, it could never be an entire city, guys. And we one of the 3 biggest ones. The amount of chill culture around the city outside of that is
Or people that's just
crazy.
themselves, that's just into shit that they into, bro.
Talking about most of these neighborhoods, I feel comfortable taking out a pre-roll, lighting it, and walking up to somebody who I think might smoke and smoking with their ass and having a conversation because it's like that most of the time. It's real cool, guys.
But
But it like, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say it changed things. It just opened up gates for me, and we'll get into how that did that.
Okay.
But I was just real stressed out at the time. But like 17-year-old stressed out. Like my whole world that I was used to was ending. But I was accepted into college already. You know, everything was cool.
What the fuck you was stressed out about?
I had just lost my bitch, man.
That'll do it to you at that age.
There was a lot of
Definitely
midterm stuff going on. Just a lot of, I was trying to figure out who I was. A lot of extra stuff. Realizing I'm finna start a whole new life somewhere. Because I also didn't really, a lot of kids there was picking based on people they know going certain places. I went because I went to ISU the summer before. Actually, no, I picked that school already. But then that summer I went down there and it was already confirmed. Like I just love the school. So I went down there by myself with no expectations.
Majoring.
I think I majored in business, but I was not there longest.
Okay. Pissed off. Hey, I didn't go at all, man.
A lot of going on. And one part I didn't get to is a lot of times, especially starting in high school, even younger, like I don't know, you probably know. Like back in the day, it used to be house parties all the time. You could go to a party at any time.
Hell yeah.
I remember being in 3rd grade, going to 6th graders parties, like their house parties. There was never not a party.
Yeah, that's when juking on, bro.
You feel me? So
in the juking days on, bro.
and the juke jams at Markham, all that. Man,
Hey, boy, what you talking about? Come on now. I
mentioned that one of my oldest.
You fucking around out there, bro.
Man, we used to. I remember that footwork in midget.
Markham, Linwood, Glen. I used to fuck around all bro. Skating days, boy.
Oh man, it was just so different back then. Okay,
Yeah, we ain't have switches. That's what it was.
that's what it was. Most niggas was on the box about it.
For sure. At the most, you might get jumped.
Might get jumped.
Now it's a definite shot. Oh, sure.
I went from that to hitting straight EDM festivals. Later, I started going to other ones, but EDM festivals is something way different.
I need to go. How did you end up at the EDM festival? Because I know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to Poria Brown. We haven't talked in forever. That's my homie for life. Taporia, she put me onto this life, right? I remember it was freshman year. We were cool. I was walking into the library. She was doing research on this festival. And
research on the festival.
We were like 13, bro. And like
13.
This is like 2012, 2013. Man. And damn, so it's probably 2012. Yeah. So she's doing the research and I'm like, what is that? Because the flyer alone looks like a whole fantasy wonderland, some shit I've never seen before. So I'm like, what's this? She's like, you've never heard of this? I'm like, no.
Festival flyers go crazy. Even like just the main straw, I just saw like one for Lyrical Lemonade. That shit was sick. I was just staring at it for like 30 minutes, just reading all the names and stuff, all the little details and shit.
Seeing that back then as a 13, I'm like, what is this? So she puts me onto the type of music and everything. I'm a dancer. So at that time, half of that stuff is what I'm dancing to in my choreography classes. I just didn't know. I didn't really know. So I'm like, all right, bet. Within like, I want to say 3-4 weeks, I locked down 2 pairs of 3-day tickets for my birthday gift so that we could go. Man, that shit changed my life.
Yeah.
That was something way more than, and that started at 13 because I was going to these festivals, partying with college kids and all these mosh pits and crowd
I was just
surfing and
gonna
doing all
ask
this
you that.
crazy
So
shit.
y'all was moshing, like it
Because-
wasn't just a
and-
do. Y'all was up
Because you
there.
get extra clout.
Matter of fact, I've already seen you in one of them videos. You look like you was punching them white kids.
No. I always hold peaceful mosh pits. Peaceful mosh pits. I don't do that extra stuff. It's way too much. We protect all the women in the mosh pits. Make sure if we see any girl fall, we
There's
pick
some
them up and
crazy shit online.
you will see some crazy stuff
I think
online.
it's a black dude. He just literally knocking out everybody.
I've seen niggas like, and especially in those like overly like, I won't say overly, that feels mean. In those wider mosh pits, especially like the rock ones, where it's real aggressive, you see like the few niggas in there really feel like they got something to prove, and they like the most aggressive ones. I saw them throwing trash cans. I'm like, look,
The one I'm gonna see, the one I see, I got him fat and said he was literally he knocked like 3 people out.
like if I see some shit like that going on in my mosh pit, I'm probably gonna stick your ass.
Yeah, for sure.
And get you out of the mosh pit, because that's way too much. You're doing entirely too much. But I was doing all that, getting all that as adrenaline rushes every summer. And once I got out of school, and life was pretty cool and decent, both in school and out of school during the year, drugs were really out of my aspect. I was a kid for real, for a long time. Nothing but school and the game.
Now, from you know what I'm saying, from as a young brother from Chicago, you know what I'm saying, stepping into these rave events, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
What was some of the first things that you were seeing or just experienced, even not just the event, but just the culture period that you didn't know? I want all the stories.
Okay.
Give us one or two. You know
okay. So Zed Clarity, one of my favorite songs. It dropped like around that time, like 2013. I'll never forget this, right? Because I'm like 14, either 13 or 14. I was going every year from 2012 to 2015. Took a break, started going to other festivals from 2014 and 2016, along with Spring Awakening. Then I left for school. Was gone for a few years. Got signed. We'll get to that later.
For sure.
Right now, we still in high school. Like first years of high school. And I hear the song come on. Well, first let me speak to the energy in these types of places. Back then, Spring Awakening was held in Soldier Field. And yeah, imagine that. Because what you would do is you would walk in.
Do they still do this shit?
Spring Awakening is gone, sadly. I haven't seen it since 2020. I think COVID kind of fucked it up. But North Coast.
So it was a rave in Soldier Field.
Yeah. And like, let me get to this. So what you do is you go in through the walkway, and there were 2 or 3 different stages outside the actual stadium. Like, you know, all that like grass and walkway around the stadium, on all of that, right? But if you want to go to the main stage, it was on the field. You go through the same tunnels that the football players go through to come out to the field, those exact same ones. Oh man, like I'll never forget this. I remember the first time I walked in, the festival had just started. Like the doors had just opened, right? I see a Spider-Man Deadmau costume. This dude's like head to toe. It's skin tight. He has climbed up onto like one of those pillars inside the building in the stadium, and he's just like in Spider-Man pose, just watching over everybody, real like literally in superhero mode, just protecting everybody. And we all looked up.
Saying superhero mode.
And then we all just like started cheering him on and appreciating. We're like, yeah, thank you, Spider-Man. It was craziness. It's like a complete fantasy. There's no worries. Everyone's problems are gone. It's nothing but love in the air and kindness. Like you could bum water off people, everyone's sharing their substances. It's an unimaginable place. Everyone's half naked. It feels unreal, especially in Chicago. It feels
That's why I say I've seen shit online. That's why I say I'm mad that
it's all real.
Doing that shit in Soldier Field, and I miss my beat. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of those things. You know, it's our type of people. If it's not deemed black people stuff, even if you're not like that, you're kind of more instantly out of that. And our world,
even if you're not right, it's just you just don't know.
You don't see it. If someone doesn't show you the way, you're not gonna find it. Luckily, I was shown the way, and I tried to put people on, but when nobody hearing me, I finally got my man Kevin to go with me. One of the last years I went in high school, and he only wanted to do one day. He wouldn't listen to me, but after that one day, he was so blue that he didn't get the 3 day.
Man, now I know you told me all the good shit, you know what I'm saying, but give me the wildest shit you seen at one of these festivals, man.
Oh,
Because I know it's ecstasy involved,
I,
you know what I'm saying. So there's other shit going on, man. So
let
tell
me.
me the
I
wildest
ain't even
shit.
finished the good
I know
story.
it's wild
Let me
shit that
finish.
going on these
I
festivals.
got you. I'll get to that. Let me.
People shitting on themselves. I know there's some shit
It's
going on.
Ooh, seen a few ODs. It gets bad. Not as Spring Awakening, but somewhere else. But let me finish that good story
Yeah,
first
for
because
sure.
this shit is. It sounds like a dream. My song comes on. We at the Z stage, and I look over, and it's this big ass white dude. Like he looks just like Action Brunson. I swear to God, looks just like him. And like we lock eyes, and we start singing the lyrics together. And the beat is building. You know, right as the climax is about to hit and the beat's about to drop, I just say fuck it. Without thinking, I start running over to bro as fast as I can, and he knows what to do. He opens his arms. Awesome. I jump in the air. He catches me and we start twirling around singing the lyrics together. Now, in a regular world, you'd be called gay, weird, all these other things. None of that exists here. It's just pure whimsy and friendship within a whole crowd of 40,000 people. Could you imagine that?
Mm-hmm.
It's literally insane. I would never even thought of trying some shit like that anywhere else, but there it wasn't even a second thought.
Mm-hmm.
And he completely understood it. And after that, we went to like 2-3 other sets together and then ended up spreading off. I used to love going to these things by
I was
myself.
getting ready for you to say, and it was Action Bronson.
No.
Oh, bro.
Oh, if only.
That's a good ass ecstasy, man. No, I'm just but no, man, that's what's up, man. That's dope, and that's you know what I'm saying. That's the best. That's the best. You know what I'm saying. Environments to be in where you can openly, you know what I'm saying, be yourself and be comfortable in your art. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
art
man.
is subjective. You know what I'm saying? So
And like a lot of those times and a lot of those feelings and being around all those people, it became really important to me in the making of my music in the way that I want to be able to create those vibes for people whenever they're at home and by themselves and whenever they need it, but also at my shows. I wanted to feel exactly how it felt when I was in the mix, and I want to control my shows. The mosh pits will be safe. No one's getting stomped out. I will be watching the entire crowd while I'm performing. Like, it will be a nice, safe space for everyone to have fun for a few hours.
for sure,
Seems like it shouldn't be that hard to do, but a lot of people don't really care about stuff like that.
Saying that five before the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like it's expected. It was kind of expected then, but like now it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. It just depends on when I do like events with like-minded individuals, and that's kind of like what you was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good. You know what I'm saying? We could be on the worst side of town to we could be on 79th. You know what I'm saying? And everything was cool. Everybody got home. Everybody going no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on, you know what I'm saying, who you bring to the situation, man. So give me some of the wildest shit you seen at these festivals.
Now,
man.
look, there are
or one of the things that shocked you that you didn't know, that you just caught you off guard. You had to.
Well, see, I ain't no super brawler or nothing. I ain't gonna be one of them dudes, but I was trained when I was younger in karate up to about a red belt.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done a little bit of boxing before, but more importantly, I've been in plenty of fights. So there have been times where I see the mosh pit get a little dangerous, and those are probably some of the scariest times because there's always a wicked motherfucker in there off the wrong shit, way too wired, don't care about
Came
nothing.
to let some
And
wrong GGs off and shit.
man, like, and it's always some real juiced up, like college looking dude. It's always weird, and they always running up on like this scrawny dude who didn't mean to do anything. Like
It's
this
the
dude,
steroids, bro.
this man accidentally bumped into him walking by. Keep in mind, it's a lot of people in the crowd, and it's nighttime now, so we're all at the main stage. There's not much time to. You can't be mad about someone bumping you when they're just trying to.
Can't
get
be
by.
mad about somebody bump you at all.
Calm down, bro. And I feel like he would have been cool if the dude was bigger, but he turned around, saw bro's size, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm finna get off on bro." So, and this is in the middle of my mosh pit, and at first I'm just hyping the rest of the mosh because here's the thing. I was almost like a performer in that bitch. I wouldn't be doing nothing crazy, but since I could dance, I could hit a few moves, get people's attention, get people to move out the way, and then let people run around and shit. Get it hyped for the beat drop, and then just keep spreading it out as much as we possibly can. Because I didn't see and made mosh pit size of swimming pools. Like it. I'll tell a different Lollapalooza story. It's more positive with Joey
I
Park.
want to be in a mosh pit.
Oh.
I had a group of friends.
Never been?
Never been. I had a group of friends. What grade? It was like fifth and sixth grade. I had a group of friends. We used to play at recess. We had a game called Mosh Pit. We
Word.
used to just fuck each other up.
That is the real mosh pit. That's because that's the
Just fuck
origins
each
of the
other up.
mosh pit. I can't lie. Those aren't the dangerous ones. Are the real ones. That's where they originate from. Where you really could get fucked up in there. But we trying to chill.
Now I got a real urban crowd, man, and I know I cut you off, man. We ain't hear your crazy story yet,
We'll
but
get to it. We'll get to it. Finish your thought.
yeah, I got a real urban audience. I got my friend base is real. They real urban. You know what I'm saying? They not real familiar with what we talking about. So if you could, from your perspective, and for anybody who may be listening or watching who don't know, what is a mosh pit exactly?
Wow. Okay. So it is a probably dangerous group amount of people. Usually from it can be a small one from 10 to 20, 30, 40. I done got hundreds of people involved in mosh pits. So what it is think about
It's a
it.
flash mob. No,
You know what it is? I have the perfect way to explain this because
Royal Rumble. No, just play.
every single party, every single homecoming has had this. Whether you were in a private school, all white school, all black school, diverse, whatever. You've seen that group of kids in the middle of either what you thought was the lamest song in the world, but probably was topping the fucking charts, or you was at one of your homies' house parties and one of our favorite drill songs came on. You feel me? That everyone coming together, jumping together, singing the songs together, and just encapsulating all that energy together and forcing it out to be one in that moment. That is a mosh pit. Now, they come in different ways. A lot of times the rules are basically setting it up through half of whatever, like the craziest half of the build up to whatever the craziest part of the song
Are the
is.
rules ever established?
It's they're all really
Are
unspoken.
they ever posted? Oh, okay.
I ain't never seen them before. I learned as a kid. But it always starts with a build up, getting everything ready. Then once you have the mosh pit ready, spread out, where basically it's a whole group of people in a circle formation with space in the middle so you can all communicate and see one another. Now you're not talking, you're probably screaming the lyrics back at each other, hyping each other up now for when the beat drops or when your favorite part come on, whatever. Now when your favorite part comes on, all rules are gone, just lose your fucking mind. Now I have a few where I try to keep people safe, you feel me? I don't like all that extra blows, kicking, real punching. You just shove each other around with a little aggression. It's a tight enough space, everyone's safe, have the same amount of fun without anybody getting mad or hurt. It's great. Now, what some people, a lot of rock metal, origins will call real mosh pits, or when you see those mosh pits online where they're
Jumping off the top rope.
look them up. They jumping off everything. They're throwing chairs. They're throwing feet, hands, bows, knees, whole bodies, everything. They're trying to hurt each other for as long as this drum solo's going on. But I mean, it's respected amongst the culture though, so you can't knock it. That's their thing. That's fine. I ain't trying to do all that, but I respect it. Gotta respect the origin.
Now, in the mosh pit, are they? Is it the girls go first? Is it the guys? Is it intermixed? What's the
Usually, most girls see what's going on and are completely terrified. Some are with the shit. Some are gangsters.
everyone I seen online, girls was in it.
That's
Everyone.
the thing. Because what you won't see is the millions of female eyes looking in and like looking around, and they're helping you because they're getting the fuck out the way. They're like, yeah, no, and they're like, but usually if you apply and they see that it's safer, after a few rounds they'll start hopping in. If they see it's dangerous, they're getting the fuck out of there. So it's really more of a hide and seek kind of peekaboo game at first with them. A lot of the guys are usually into it. I usually try to grab the biggest guys around me and kind of tell them to help me out, which they never have a problem with. And then within about a minute, we have a little mini one to work with, and then we keep expanding that bitch by pretty much showing anybody around how teed up it is, and then it just
Now,
goes from like this to
for somebody with a dancing background, you know what I'm saying, with a background, a lot of things, red belt and all that. Is it dancing?
what you mean?
Is mosh pit? Is moshing dancing?
In itself, no, but it can be a mini dance party in that bitch in between. But the actual moshing aspect is honestly just chaos in a circle.
For sure.
If anything, you could see it more. It feels more ritualistic, for a lack of a word, than a dance. There's always dancing incorporated in and out, but to say that a mosh pit, especially with the origins of it of rock and metal, where it's mostly flailing moves that you call dancing and straight danger, to call it dancing feels almost disrespectful.
Okay, for sure.
I feel like somebody somewhere is gonna appreciate that.
I definitely appreciate the education. Definitely appreciate the education. But man, that's definitely you got some lot of shit going on, man. Let's get back to your story, man. So
We about halfway through.
coming up, we got a little minute. Coming up, man, in Beverly, man. Talk to me about some of your early aspirations, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming up,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure was exposed to a lot just in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Probably had a firefighter neighbor, just some dope shit going on. So, what
Yeah.
did you aspire to be as a shorty coming up?
You
Early,
know,
if anything.
looking back on my aspirations as a shorty, I didn't really have many. I had activities and I did things. Dance was really my main focus, but even then, back then, I knew it wasn't gonna be like the thing I
You
did.
didn't want to be a dancer.
Yeah, like I just kind of I loved dancing and I wanted to have the ability to really be able to do it, but I knew there weren't really too many places you can go with that. Not to say that it's not a future, especially nowadays. You can do something with it, but
Yeah, for
back
sure.
then it was just a pipe dream. Feel to be a backup dancer.
Everybody was dancing back when I was.
We was all
I'm
dancing.
33. Everybody was. If you was the gang banging, playing sports, or dancing on,
Feel
bro.
me? It's like if you couldn't dance, you was lame, so you wanted to know how to dance. But at the same
Especially
time,
out
wasn't
west,
nobody
everybody
thinking like
it was
I'm gonna be a
footwork
dancer.
out west, so they had like groups. Everybody had dance groups and shit.
Hell yeah, shit was
Crazy.
going crazy. I was, while everyone was doing that and bopping, I was so deep into like choreography dance and the dance scene in LA because the Dougie was going off. I was deep into the jerk scene because everyone just knows the reject and the pen drop, but it was like a whole. There's like 10 other moves when it comes to jerk, and it was a whole movement out there that they still trying to bring it back right now. As we speak, there's a page that I know on Facebook that constantly posts old and new clips, and they're really trying to bring it back around. And they should. It was decent.
Yeah, for sure. so nothing. So you just
I mean,
taking it one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? So,
honestly, like I was a kid. Even with a lot of my experiences in Beverly, like I had some wild experiences. Like I didn't dodge death a few times doing stupid shit, and but it was just a lot of team bonding.
How old are you?
outside. I'm 26.
Okay, you almost there. Look, I'm 30. I'll be like to get to 30 in Chicago. Almost died 3 times.
If you had to have literally, you've had 3 almost near death experiences.
For sure.
I definitely didn't have my 3. I'm cool.
For sure. For sure. Now, talk to me about some of your early musical influences. You know what I'm saying? What were you listening to early? What was being played in the household on the weekends when y'all cleaning up the house? You know what I'm saying? What was being played in your ears early on the musical side?
It's funny because mine is a little different because I came up with my grandparents. My parents never really got together, and they by the time everything was figured out and where I was living and everything, I was staying with my grandparents and it just became easy. The school was right there and everything. They could grind out, get their stuff together. So it just kind of worked out best for everybody and made it the smoothest. So there wasn't too much music played in my house, but my grandpa loved playing classical music all the time, no matter what he was doing. And it wasn't like, well, he didn't do it all the time, but every once in a while he would play a lot of classical music and he would force me to try to guess different instruments in it with zero musical theory or actual musician background. But it started me on that path of caring about music. From that to all the long rides and hangouts with my dad, especially in the car, a lot of Questlove, a lot of Music Soul Child, a lot of Jay-Z, a lot of I can't remember a lot of the stuff because what started to happen was he played me a lot of stuff, but once he started to realize that I had a passion for music in that way, he started to let me take the aux. So whenever he would try to find me things, and whenever I found things, he let me take over the aux and I'd show him some things. Like he introduced me to Frank Ocean, and that's one of my favorite artists to this day. But through that, I then found the Odd Future movement, and then that's when I found Tyler. So it was a lot. Oh, also a lot of Justin Timberlake. Both my mom and my dad both
Definitely
love
fuck with
Justin
Justin.
Timberlake.
Fuck with Justin, bro. Definitely gotta play Cry Me a River every once in a while. That's my shit, bro.
Yeah, so the definitely the stuff played around me versus what I took influence from are two completely different conversations. But I definitely appreciate a lot of the different stuff they played. And my dad definitely didn't unleash the entire totality of his catalog, because I didn't see his Apple Music library, and it is full of everything. Stuff he ain't got a lifetime to show me all the shit in his Apple Music
Damn.
library. It inspired me. Like, it inspires me every day to look through different stuff that I haven't looked through. Like, I just for the last 3 weeks, I listened to this. I can't remember his name fully. I don't want to disrespect, bro. Hold on. I actually want to find this because
No, I've actually asked guests several times to pull their phone out and find a song for me.
John Lee Hooker and the Canned Heat is from 1971. This is blues we're talking about. Like,
I don't know nothing.
real.
It's 1991,
And
goddamn.
that's what I'm saying. Like, going back that far to where they really put it all in the music and they really gave a fuck about nothing but the art. That's what I'm really trying to tap into. And hearing blues and jazz from back then, man, I can, like, I feel like I'm almost back in time, like back in the what are they called? Fucking
Renaissance.
no, not back then, but like in the prohibition times when it was illegal to drink, the secret little bars and stuff. I can't think of the name, so I don't know, but just like that little tap dance and that just stomping their feet to the beat, like I can feel it. It feels like I'm down there with them, and I can feel every ounce of heart and culture and where they were from, how we felt, everything in it, and I want to be able to do that. And there have been examples of that in the last 10, 20 years. They're far few, and also a lot of unappreciated ones, but it's there, and those are the careers I've been studying, because they're short moves that are really important.
Now talking about careers, man. You did mention going to school for business, man. What was the plan leaving high school? What was the blueprint? What was you know what I'm saying? What was You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta, especially leaving high school, you basically gotta
You need a
decide what you finna do with the fuck the rest of your life. Or
You need a plan, and I did not fucking have one. Let me tell you. So I went to a few different schools, not like went to, but like visited.
so let me ask you this: when you was applying for like your major, like what was in your head? Like was it just like, this is what I'm just supposed to do?
In my head, I wanted to gain and go through the path that my dad did, because I saw the stability he had. I even though my come up wasn't conventional, I really did when I was younger, but even still to this day, look at him as a pillar of stability and structure, because he came from nothing, and now he's out in Geneva. You feel me? Out there in them big ones with my sisters and shit like that. So, and it's in today's age, you don't see that too much, especially through a obtainable and reasonable way. You know, like he did the legwork. He went through all types of finance, jobs, all that stuff. And I thought, even though I didn't really know what I was doing and the steps weren't what I thought they would be, I thought that was the best way without really knowing too much. But before I even left, I had a talk with him. We were in Applebee's. I'll never forget this. And he kind of like, and it was right after, it was either before or after I visited SAE, which is a sound engineering school in the city that I ended up going to way later once I come back from all that stuff down there. But it was either before or after that. And he had told me, he was like, even if you don't finish, you should go out there. It's way past the school stuff. You can always find a new way. You can figure it out. But you need to go to have this experience of being out there and being out there on your own and finding yourself. And I will always appreciate that they gave me that honesty, because I probably would have stayed down there longer trying to fake my attendance or been lying, or I could have done anything, or I could have stuck with it and it ended up being not what I wanted to do. But he kind of had this sense that I was doing this because I felt like it was the right thing to do, but it wasn't necessarily what I knew I wanted to do. And he could see that all over me, and I really appreciate that. So, yeah, I went down there, and I learned a lot about myself and learned a lot about a lot of things, but I didn't stay.
Yeah, a lot of things, man. Oh man, okay. So another thing I asked, especially a question I ask young brothers, you know what I'm saying, especially from for me who didn't have that college experience, you know what I'm saying? What was the college experience like? You know what I'm saying? I hear some stories from young brothers, sometimes they horror sort of stories, sometimes it's the best experience of their life. I had young brothers tell me they didn't went to some school in the middle of Indiana and he was like he wish he wouldn't have went to HBCU. What
It
was your
can
college experience like?
it can be what it is depending on both who you are and where you go.
Mm.
Me being who I am and where I went, perfect. Now, what I will say is you can have either one or two base level experience. A lot of the details fall into one of these two categories. Either you lock in and you get your shit done and you make it out no problem while maintaining your social life or not having one at all. Or you do what I did. Where, for whatever reason you have, for me, I had the most ridiculous classes, like the most crazy, ridiculous classes in languages I could barely understand. And to be honest, I wasn't the best student, especially getting used to all this new freedom I had. I was more focused on the tee up. I became the tee up man. And I started growing out my hair, and I was making such a scene at a lot of these parties that like they never really saw my face because I always had a dad hat on. And I had my hair, I just had this big afro, but when I pulled it out of the back of the dad hat, it looked like a huge poof.
Mhm.
So niggas started to know me as the nigga with the ponytail. Like, they'd start seeing me in the cafeteria next day or the day after and be like, oh, you that nigga with the ponytail? And that's me. I know it's like the motherfuckers I was with be like, what is he talking about? It's like some party from a few days ago. But I went from going to all the parties and doing everything on campus to when I got really close to the friends that I met there who were all from Peoria, about 30 minutes away from Bloomington, which is where the campus and stuff was. That's where a lot more, well, I won't say that. The kind of drug exploration that already started, but it got deeper there. Not to no crazy fault. Nothing crazy happened, but it put me on to my next stage because I stayed there without getting into it too much. I ended up going stepdad role at like 18, 19 for a few years before I ended up meeting who was my right hand duo with the
You
music,
said you did what now?
the stepdad role for a little bit, for a few years.
What's that, like a band?
Nigga, what are you talking? You're really gonna play dumb on his own podcast? That's insane.
Oh
That's
my
nuts. What did
god!
he say? Yeah, I said that.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
God damn.
And it's fine, and it's not for the weak.
Yeah.
Don't let niggas tell
You
you
live and learn, man.
you live and learn. There are now look, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. There's nothing objectively wrong with playing this role, but listen to me, it is not for the weak. You cannot be selfish. And you got to know which role you playing. And knowing these things, you could probably look at it and go, yeah, this shit goofy. It might be for you, but it's not for everybody, and kids need fathers. So stop punking them niggas.
That's true.
Leave them alone. Okay. That's not to defend them. I have my own kids now. You feel me? That's all.
Yeah.
But leave them niggas alone.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I did not what this is about. So did that for a bit, and then I met my right hand duo in music who kind of taught me a lot and really forced my progression and my involvement and development in music with like my vocals and both just regular rap delivery and doing like trying to sing and shit like that, and how to approach songs both on trying to hit the mainstream level and make a bop and really exploring the art of it. And then we ended up getting signed. The label was fucking bullshit, but with what I learned and after leaving the label, separated from bro because that's some shit happened with that. Ended up sitting in my house for a good 4 or 5 months. We're in 2018 now. Well, no, late 2018, coming up at the start of 2019. And I had signed up for SAE, but I still had to wait till about May. And I just sat in my house and sung every day and really practiced everything I could with my vocals and what I learned. I took all of that and all my writing, went into SAE and learned a lot about the way music is made. They trained my ear in there. Like I started to hear, they even told us before we went home, like, we're going to fuck up music for you. Like, you're going to start hearing everything you never heard, and it's probably going to mess up a lot of your favorite songs. And we didn't believe them until I went home and heard the shitty mixes people had. and it fucked everything up for me. I couldn't unhear it, and we were all so mad walking back to the school. It was an amazing school. It still is. Still in contact with a lot of great staff and stuff up there, and they really, being in that environment with a whole bunch of other artists trying to really learn how to mess with the technicalities to create something completely different, cultivating that really built my confidence in rapping, because I was also one of the better rappers there. Not to throw any shade on anybody like that, but like, we've been over that. Nigga knows what it is. So, and there were a lot of other really talented people, especially producers and engineers, but also rappers and singers up there that I'm still in contact with till this day. And after all of that, and I was really deep into SAE, COVID hit. Like, I was halfway done with the program. My Wi-Fi was so ass back home I couldn't finish it. Ended up meeting my BM, and literally the last 3-4 years was working as a chef for a bit while being with her, to having a kid, continuing that job, then leaving that job, doing a few side things, trying to work things out, and then having another kid. And then now we're basically here. But I started this year, really, the last few years, I've been focusing on really evolving the skill of my rap and also what I wanted to put into my songs. And now we're popping out all over the place, seeing what it does.
For sure. Let's talk about your creative process, man. If you could describe yourself as an artist, if you had to, like if you had to describe yourself, if you had to genreize yourself, do that for us, bro.
Think of like the three constant comparisons I've always gotten was Chance, Kendrick, and J. Cole. And I simply think, not because I'm actually like them, Jid a lot of times too, and Smino more recently, but I think that's more because my hair is getting longer. But I don't think it's necessarily because I'm like any of them, but because I'm getting to a point where both my lyricism and the creativity and the art in that all blended together is starting to feel how they feel to certain people, depending on who you are, which is exactly what I want. So I mean, like, that's why I described it so simple in the beginning. I'm really just a dude, man. Like, I'm just, and you'll learn a lot more about me and how I feel about things and how I move and how I try to treat other people and how I feel about certain aspects through the music. That's really how I express myself nowadays. I don't know. Saying most things feel weird. It's almost like I'm trying to put on something, but in reality, all I ever try to be now is just some type of good energy out here. For real, especially with all the imaginary stuff and the fake stuff and all the stress and negativity that people deserve to feel about. It's just, there isn't an artist that isn't just trying to be them and be cool in the happy, just bring the vibes back type of way, without bringing in all the extra money and super drug abuse. I know I'm not the cleanest, but the way I talk about it's a little different. It's more treating it like an experience. I'll never tell you to go do an excessive amount of anything, but I won't pretend like I'm not out here,
Like you pass drug tests. But no, man, if you
Man, I could, but
no, but if you don't mind me asking, man, I talk to a lot of artists and they always tell me, not they always tell me, but I talk to a lot of artists that tell me that they biggest supporters are people that they never met before. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you don't mind me asking, what's your support system like?
my support system is really unorthodox. I have a few friends real close to me that will also love everything I'm doing now, but keep my first mixtape close to their heart for till the end of time, and I really appreciate that. But for example, to what they were saying, I just recently met this guy CJ, right, at the last show at the Urban Lux, and he was so cool. I just said fuck it, told him to slide back to the crib. I had just re-upped, we smoke, chill, talk, whatever. And we ended up going through the journey of like the first song I made to where I'm at now. And I've never seen someone appreciate a musical journey like that. like anybody's, let alone mine. And it's something that I've always wanted. And it let me know that I'm doing something right, because from keeping all that older, not as good stuff up from the path I've taken to get better and how I've cultivated who I am while getting better in my sound, he verified everything that I knew, but it is so much nicer to hear, you know? And it's just this thing when people know you, it's way easier to not take it seriously when someone else isn't. As much as I feel the artist aspect and not getting it, I also have been the person that wasn't the artist and had somebody send some music to me sometimes, and I wasn't as eager to click on it. So I get both sides, and you gotta know how to take yourself out of that artist mind and put yourself back into it at the right times, because people will catch themselves getting mad, cutting off people they don't need to cut off. They got their own lives, man. Like, sorry, bro, not everyone's gonna be eager to support you. Did you support what they did today? Like, you you gotta chill. Like,
For sure. Now you mentioned like networking at your last event, man. But
oh right,
now
I ain't even answered the question.
um, go continue.
But my support system is mostly online. I'm starting to build that one by popping out more. As you can see, I'm popping out to another open mic tomorrow. But it's steady. It was real hype back in the day when I put a lot of pressure on it. But since 2020, I've been doing nothing but cultivating it and figuring out what I wanted to do, planning everything and what I want to talk about. The only thing in the way now is money, and we getting to that. So
Yeah.
we on the way. But it's on, like, I drop snippets on Facebook, like just the whole song, but like not master or anything, just recorded off 2 phones and a speaker. And starting like back in December, those 2 songs that you heard and another one that I'll show you after this that I just recorded, they're getting, those 2 got 1,000 views, 1,500 in a month. And this one is on a track to do better than that. It's at like 500 in like a week.
For sure.
So
That's dope.
building that steady. I don't know if you heard of Threads on Instagram, but I had a really crazy music scene on there, more than anybody on the app that I had seen. And they took my account last year on my birthday. A lot of people get their accounts back eventually, so we gonna see. But
Yeah.
used to have that, but it's just little shit, nothing crazy.
Yeah, these accounts, man, you gotta make sure they buttoned up, man. You gotta make sure you got your 2-factor authentication. You gotta have the Google Authenticator downloaded on your phone, because they will get you on, bro.
They ain't even hacked me. I was breaking the rules.
Yeah,
They took my shit.
Yeah, that shit happened to me before too. I was on the live. They took my shit for playing music that incite violence, and I ain't know what happened. I was kicked out. I thought somebody hacked my shit on, bro. But I was on YouTube. I found out I had to get my shit on, bro.
Okay, decent.
But yeah. So real quick, man, I got a couple more questions before we slide, man. Give me your opinion on your peers in this industry that you're a part of. You know what I'm saying? Like when you out these urban luxes and these open mics. You know what I'm saying? What's the vibe that you get from these other artists? What's it like?
You know, it's better than I thought it would be. I'm used to popping out, and there's really a lot of motherfuckers playing around, a lot of people with too much ego who just started rapping or just started doing what they do and already thinking they about to come in and win, when they don't know that there are people who haven't made it but sound like they should have by now right behind them. But there are also other times where, especially the last event that I pulled up with you guys, there was no lack of talent between any of the artists. It's a respectful crowd for the most part. We were getting lit towards the end, but that experience was really, really nice, like really nice. And being able to contact with them and know that there's actually get some hope that there's some real music coming out in the city, it was real cool. So I won't say that it's one way or the other. It's a mix depending on where you go, and it's hard to find the right events, but when you do find them, you'll find some inspiring stuff out here, man.
For sure.
Definitely some light in the city still.
That's dope. What's the goal, man? What's the goal? Why do you make music? Why you grinding? Why you right here sitting on this couch, man? What you trying to obtain, man? Why you out these shows and these open mics for? What? What's the purpose?
Man, I didn't had a million goals over the last almost 10 years doing this shit. And now, well, for myself, obviously, be able to sustain a living off it. But I've never wanted fame, though. I never wanted all the extra stuff that comes with it. I'd be perfectly fine with, like I said, my few little 100,000 fans, being able to make money off my internet content and touring around the world, or if I can get to around the world, but around the country, and not really having to worry about taking care of me and my family. Now, aside from that obvious thing, and kind of putting that to the side, music has become the way I express myself, to the point where I'm saying the things that I need to hear. It's almost my therapy session now.
Mm.
So that's where it starts. And if, while also trying to be relatable to a point where give perspectives that are felt and are recognizable and relatable, but haven't been spoken on because people waste so many beats on bullshit. Like, I want to strike nerves and give chills in those good ways that start different types of thinking and conversation, that stray away from a lot of the bullshit we're used to, like worrying about what people look like or what's cool or how people perceive you, all types of stuff like that.
For sure.
But also being able to look inward and do that for yourself.
Now talk to us about what you're working on right now. You know what I'm saying? What you working on right now? What's out? What's coming up? You know what I'm saying? What should we be on the lookout for?
Man,
Give us some information, man.
It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Keeping up with the social media is the best way, and we'll get to where I'm at, because a lot of the stuff out is older. It's good, but it's older, and you can definitely see where I was at about 3-4 years ago. But keeping up with me online and popping out to the shows is the best way to keep up with what I'm doing right now. That being said, this year is going to be a huge push on getting to the studio, on getting these songs professionally made, professionally mixed and mastered, so that we can then start doing videos, start promoting this music, getting to as many eyes as possible. But we're not going to do that with snippets. You feel me? We're not going to do that with rough edits that aren't done like that. So we got to get that done first. But there is a lot of new music coming that will come out officially. And I don't really, as much as I could do an album or EP, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I really just want to get the music out there piece by piece and focus and give each song the focus it needs, so that y'all can see. Whatever happens from there, happens from there. If y'all want one, you can have one. I don't really care right now about an album or EP or anything like that. My main focus is just getting the music done professionally and making moves at shows before and after that's done, because I can go off instrumental, and I will do that. Well, and as soon as the songs are professionally done, I can show off what it sounds like going over those vocals, because I spend a lot of time also singing other people's shit, cultivating a kind of double layered voice that complements whatever voice is on the song, and then doing that and showing how doing a dub over yourself can be really good if you do it right.
For sure, man. Well, you definitely got the talent, man. I definitely appreciate you coming through, sharing your story, man.
Appreciate you.
Definitely see much big things coming from you. Definitely big talent, man. I knew as soon as you performed, I already knew you was taking one of the prizes home, man. So.
Man, I can't wait for the award show headliner spot. I'm like, oh, give me a headliner spot.
It's definitely nice. It's busting. It's definitely busting. That's the big one, bro. They're gonna have to carry me up out of there, bro. But no, man. Before you get up out of here, man, let the people know where they can find you on social media, where they can find the music, where they can lock in with you for work, all that good shit.
All right. So Instagram and Facebook is usually my two main hubs these days. Both Saucertin Sin, that's SAUCERTIN SIN. Saucertin Sin, that's SAUCERTIN SIN. And that's also the SoundCloud too, I believe. If it isn't that, then I will literally hop on my phone and change that right after this interview. As far as keeping up with the music before it comes out, if you want to, I have a decent amount of reels up on Instagram, but if you really want to find everything, in my Facebook videos is probably the best spot to both keep updated on songs when I finish them and get done recording them for myself as a reference track, versus waiting probably another few months before all these start dropping for real.
For sure.
And that's, yeah.
Well, that's dope, man. Make sure y'all check him out. Make sure y'all check his music out, man. I appreciate your time.
Hey, man.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes, sir.
Minute. Gang.